Hi, I'm Louis Paul. This is another episode of the Colors of Prog. So this is season 4, episode 18. This episode of the podcast. I'm going to be discussing some Fish solo recordings. Yes, the guy from Marillion. Some of his earlier solo records. Fish, aka Derek William Dick, was given that nickname, Fish, stage name as well, because rumor had it he liked to drink and lie in a bathtub, with little yellow rubber ducks. I read that more than in several places, so weird legend, right? Well, he was clean, right? No argument there. But it apparently stuck, if that's the origin of the Fish name. And he's used that name as his professional singing alter ego ever since. So, there's a lot to say about early Marillion and how Fish joined the band. So what I'm going to do is basically, long story short, Fish was an untrained singer who loved the Beatles and later Elton John, yes, Genesis, Deep Purple, and Pink Floyd. That's a grab bag there of classic rock. Fish honed his singing craft in the family garage, and together with a close friend who was also a musician, they began answering ads placed in the back of local UK music mags. Eventually, he answers an ad looking for a singer for a band named Marillion. Except a nervous Fish drank a bit too much that day, and for their first meetup, but he still sang his ass off. And Fish's audition was with the band that would become Marillion with him was all Peter Gabriel songs, early Genesis and solo Peter Gabriel. Nevertheless, the band liked his voice and he was hired. And their first live gig with Fish was March 15th, 1981. With Fish as lead singer, Marillion released 4 very good studio albums: Script for a Jester's Tale in '83, Fugazi in '84, Misplaced Childhood in '85, and Clutching at Straws in '87. Not counting various official and not live, live recordings released from that period. The Marillion tours with Fish were rumored to be colossal, alcohol and drug-infused binges leading to the dark last final album, Clutching at Straws. Also notable, Fish and guitarist Steve Rothery wrote most of the songs together. Fish left the band in 1988. Now, his first solo album, Vigil in a Wilderness of Mirrors, came out in 1990, and while good, it was a different sound than the Fish Marillion fans were used to. 4 more releases about every 2 years, and then Sunsets on Empire happened in 1997. Produced by Steven Wilson of Porcupine Tree, and now famously known as the remixer extraordinaire of classic rock recordings and re-releases, Wilson also played a variety of instruments, contributed backing vocals, and etc. Now, Sunsets is a terrific album, and it will be Fish's finest solo moment. and this is a CD, Sunsets on Empire. And to show you the age of this in, sorry for the glare, modern CDs, I don't know if you guys could see that. This compact disc was also equipped to be loaded with QuickTime in your computer. So it even came with QuickTime instructions for PC and Mac, so you could play an enhanced version of the songs. Now, does anybody have QuickTime anymore? They're going to might auto load or something strange. So again, I really like this Fish solo album, Sunsets on Empire, and it features such a diverse such diverse sounding songs, as lullabies to chants, to love songs, to rap-tinged melodrama, to docudrama like true crime recaps about a murder. That's Brother 52. But Fish really ups the ante with What Color Is God, a song that nails with biting sarcasm the religious right's aversion and self-abasement of fascism. And that's back then. Jungle Ride is also a highlight. It has a quasi-Arabic feel to it, musically. Kind of clashes with psychedelia, too. It's pretty cool. Truly a gem in his catalog. Unfortunately, Fish at this time burned his bridges with record labels, so was self-released on the Dick Brothers label and Roadrunner elsewhere. Another one I wanted to discuss was RainGods with Zippos. The back cover is really just uninteresting. This was released in 1999. It also features Steven Wilson, but only on 3 tracks on guitar. And like Sunsets, it has an army of session players. Well, not as immediately pleasing as Sunsets. It is a good album. It is slightly more prog rock oriented as well. The highlight for me is A Plague of Ghosts, a nearly 30-minute long song, and it's in 7 sections, each with its own subtitle. So in some ways, RainGods is a stronger album, since the semi-autobiographical demons and that appeared in Sunsets on Empire, but it really shows him as a terrific songwriter. There's also an array, actually an army of keyboard players on this record, CD. Well, it did come out on vinyl, so if you have that, but it was also issued on CD later on, and around the same time as the vinyl was released, I believe. So again, yeah, there's an army of keyboard players on this, a lot of session guys, a lot of people I'm unfamiliar with, and sometimes they're mixed into the same song. You might have 3 or 4 different keyboard players. So those prog lovers who dig symphonic prog as well, it's a good one, and I recommend it. Kettle of Fish, 1998. Sorry for the glare. We're having a glary day here. Kettle of Fish, released in 1998, is not so much a greatest or would-be collection of hits, but a selection of songs from Fish's solo albums up to this point. He had already released both Yin and Yang in '95, which featured much of the same as well as re-recorded Marillion songs. So he was digging deep into the well of earlier solo recordings, as well as re-recording some Marillion music. It's not the best compilation out there available, but at the right price, you could certainly do worse. This was also released on the Roadrunner label. What we have on here is Big Wedge, Just Good Friends, Brother 52, Chasing Miss Pretty, Gentlemen's Excuse Me, Lady Let It Lie, Lucky, State of Mind, Fortunes of War, Internal Exile. Internal Exile was a good album too. So, presented by the Dick Brothers and on Roadrunner Records again. Anyone familiar with post-punk or the new wave romantics era of music would be familiar with the indie Roadrunner label. The short-lived label had quite a lot of good taste in music, and I have a lot of albums from that music period, indie bands, alternative music bands, punk bands, and, new romantics, that genre that Roadrunner put out, including some garage rock bands. So yeah, he actually, couldn't get a major deal, but these guys released his music. I did want to mention the Dick Brothers acoustic session. Yes. There you go. The Dick Brothers Record Company acoustic session recorded live at the Funny Farm, 1994, I believe. It was released independently by the Dick Brothers on their label. So it was a limited edition. I never saw an official release of this, so this may have been reduced to small label release or even canceled, and just he put it out himself. What we have here is Fish and his core touring band at the time, running through some early Marillion and Fish solo songs. And, well, how is it? It's not terrible. It's streamlined, toned down Fish, and Prog for that matter. Imagine an acoustic Yes album. Well, that's been done, hasn't it? Especially from the John Anderson era. But yes, that's been done. And at least with an orchestra, I think there is acoustic Yes material out there. So I'm correcting myself. Anyway, after RainGods, Fish will release 5 more studio albums, with the late 2020 release Weltschmerz, one of his finest latter-day solo achievements, and a recording he, to this day, calls his last studio release. Of late, Fish has been working on re-releasing some Marillion material when he was with the band, and some live shows he did in the 2000s up to the COVID point. And they're due out soon. There's apparently extravagant box sets with vinyl, many CDs, some DVDs of some live footage. So he's on Facebook, believe it or not, and Fish, and he tries to keep up a morning every Friday, our afternoons if you're in the United States. He kind of does this thing where he's talking, and you're inside his apartment, or he goes out to his garden, and he just talks about music and how's a beer. And I think he used to take questions, or he would look at the scroll if somebody's commenting and might respond to that. But he's been very busy. He's going to be touring this coming fall in Europe, in the UK, and I believe other parts of Europe. So that's something to look forward to. Unfortunately, US had a rumored tour, but not as of yet. It would be nice to see him. Post-Fish, Marillion has been active with Steve Hogarth, who replaced him, and they've been doing really good. Live albums of Fish in his career, he has so far 28 live recordings, either released through labels or independently, with the Movable Feast European Tour 2013 to 2015 a certain highlight. But more on that one another time. Anyway, that's our Fish show. So we discussed Sunsets on Empire, one of my favorites. RainGods with Zippos. I love that. And that is a Zippo he's holding up. Look at that. Zippo lighter. I just recently reacquired one of those. Kettle of Fish, a unusual collection of solo material. And Fish acoustic sessions. Oh, I mentioned there's some Marillion stuff. Yeah, Kaylee and Sugar Mice is on here. Revenge of the Glare. Anyway, that's our show today. I hope you enjoyed it. Rather to the point. So tune in again. Thank you.